Hello my dear friends, welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I make image classification with ML5 and P5 library. In the last tutorial I created this image classification. Let's take a look on it, this AI image classification. And this was a complete tutorial, so how you can select an image and it will detect what this image is. But in this tutorial I'm gonna go deeper into it, and I explain you more about how it works. And also I'm gonna use P5 library inside this project. Okay, this is my project folder. Inside ML5 I create a folder. I call it image classification. I open my Visual Studio Code and drag and drop my folder into it. I create a file. I call it index.html, and I create a basic HTML5 structure. I give it a title, image classification. Once I have done that, I also have to make another file. I call it app.js, and I need to include this one to my index.html. So I use a script. My app.js name. This is my index.html, but we have forgot the most important thing, which is importing the P5 and ML5 library. So I go to Google and I search for P5 CDN, and this is the P5 library. I use the P5 library. I copy the script tag and I come here and I paste it before my app.js. Also need to include the ML5 library, so I search for ML5 CDN, and this is ML5 website. I go to get started, and from here I copy this script tag and I paste it here. Now my index.html is completed. Let's run it. I open the console to see if it's loaded. Yes. If you get this message, it means your P5 library is loaded. Now it's time to start the coding. Now I go to my app.js, and here the first thing I have to do is, because I use the P5 library, and if you're familiar with P5, it has main function which is setup, which means whenever I load the page, this function will be run automatically. So what I want to create a canvas. To create a canvas, just type create canvas, and then the width and height of your canvas in pixel. And this is my canvas. Let's give my canvas a color, a background color. 0 means black. You can use any color. Let's save and refresh. And there's my canvas. I have successfully created a canvas. And now it is time to import my MobileNet. But before doing that, first I want to load the image. I want to use the image classifier to detect what are them. So for doing that, here I already have a folder with images. Let me see where it is. There it is. I paste this folder, which is called image. Inside this folder I have put few images. These are the images we use. You can put your own images and you can detect them. The name of these images are important. So once I have done that, you see my folder images and my images inside this folder. Okay, now I create a variable. I call it the image, and I use the image to load that image. How we can do that? It is very easy. In my setup function, I use the image, and this is equal to, I want to create an image. There is a function in P5 which is called create img, and inside this one put your image name. For example, I want to import this cat.jpg. So first your folder name, which is image, and inside this folder I have this cat.jpg, and let's save and see if it's imported. Refresh, and there you go, we have the cat image inside our page. But I don't want the cat here, I want it inside this canvas. How you can do that? Actually, that's not that hard. First I want to hide the image. We're gonna hide it. Once I have hide the image, it's no more available. Now I want to draw this image inside the canvas. So this create image take another argument, which is a arrow function, or you can use a regular image. I say image ready, and I create this function image ready. Whenever it import this image, it will also run this image ready function, and I want to use this function to put the image inside my canvas. So I use a function called image. This is the function name, and inside this function put your image. My image is stored inside this variable called the image, and then put the weight and height, the position. Okay, this is the position. Let's save. Okay, the image is inside my canvas, but it's very big. I want to adjust the weight and height of this image. I can put a weight and height exactly the same as canvas, but there's some better way. I just say weight and height. It automatically get the weight and height of the canvas. Let's save and see, and here is my image. If I change this cat name, for example, to dog, my other image, refresh, this one is loaded without any problem. But I change it back to the cat. Okay, I have created a canvas, and I've imported my image inside this canvas. The P5 part is completed. Now it is time to import the image, the ml5 library to classify this image. So I make another variable. I call it Classifier, and inside my setup function I use this classifier to, and I equal this one to import the ml5. So how you can do that? Just type ml5 dot. There's a function inside ml5 which is called image classifier. You can get to know more about this function inside that. If you go to the ml5 library, and if you go to image classifier here, there's this function name. Okay, so I use that one, image classifier. Inside this function we have two arguments. The first one is the model. You have to understand your AI use a model, a pre-trained model. We have to use a pre-trained model. In this case we use a model called MobileNet. and this is a pre-trained model, and if you ask where it loads from the cloud by using the ML5 library. But you can also train your own model, and maybe in the future we do that, but for now I'm going to use this pre-trained MobileNet model. Once you have put the model name, the second argument is the function. Whenever it runs this module, and it should run a function after that. Okay, in that function I make it a function, I say model ready, and I have to create this function. So it's a function model ready. Okay, so I imported the image classifier, I imported the MobileNet pre-trained model, and I store everything inside this classifier. Now we can use that classifier to classify our image. But if you're doing that, I want to cancel a message, and I want to see if the model is loaded or not. I say model is loaded. I want to save, I want to refresh. If the model is loaded, I should get a cancel message here, but it takes a few seconds to load because the model could be big. Oh, there you go, the model is loaded, which means now we can use this model to classify our image. And we can do that, that's very easy. We already put everything inside this variable called classifier, and it uses this MobileNet model. And you can easily use this classifier dot, there's a function called predict, and inside this function we put our image. And as you know, my image is stored inside the image variable, so I put the name of that variable. And after that, once it predicts the image, I need to show the result. Here you can use an arrow function, but I make a function, I say got results. When it predicts this image, it will run this function. So I make the function called got result. Inside this function we have two arguments. Once it's predicted, it gives us two things, an error or a result. If there's a problem, it gives us an error. If there is no problem, it will give us a result. So error and results. First we say we want to check if there's any error or not. If there's any error, I want to console.log the error. But if there is no error, what I want to do, I want to console.log the results. Let's see if it works. Let's refresh. It takes a few seconds. You have to wait. And there we go. We got the result, a JSON kind of thing. And from 0, we have a predict. There's 3 predict, okay? The first one is the strongest one. And inside this 0, we have a confidence of 62%. And we also got the label. This is a to be cat, and that is exactly correct. So let's also print this label and confidence inside our canvas. How we can do that? It's pretty easy. First, I want to store the label. I want to get the label in the confidence. So I create a variable called label, and from this result, I want to select result 0, which is this one, and from this one I want to get the label. Result 0 dot label. If you don't know how this JSON thing work with the JavaScript, there's few tutorials in my channel. I put the link on the description. You can go and learn how it works. And the second one is the confidence, which I can say probability, something like this. So from the results 0, I want to get, let's see, what is this? Confidence. It's confidence. And I store both of them inside this variable and this other variable. Now I want to use the P5 to create us a beautiful text. First, I use a function called fill, and this set the color for our pen, which is 0 means black. And then so I use a function called text size 64 pixel. You see, before make your job much easier. Then I use a function called text where to draw this text. Okay, I want to draw this label. Then set the position. I want this text to be in here. So first one is the width and height. The width should be 10 pixel to the right. So I say 10, and the width should be in here, which is the we have to use full width and then minus that one to 400 because our canvas is 418 pixel. 400. Let's see if it works. Let's refresh, and it should print our label here. Let's wait this, and there you go. This is a Toby cat. Let's also create a P element. Create a P element with a P5, and I put this label inside it, and make another P element, and I put this confidence inside it. So we also got those two things. Let's refresh and wait, and there you go. This is a to be cat, and this is the confidence. This is nice, right? We can detect any image. Let's change the image name to something else. This is my image. I want to use the parrot image. Let's say parrot, this image. Let's save and refresh. I have the parrot. Let's wait. It's going to predict it. I take a few seconds. You have to wait. And there we go. Macau. Let's see what's Macau. Okay, this is a kind of parrot, and that's exactly the same thing. Let's use one more image. For example, this duck. Let's save and refresh. And wait a few seconds, and there we go. This is a Bourbon Griffon. Let's search, and that's exactly the same dog, right? This is exactly the same dog, and this is 98% confidence. And this is how you can use machine learning to detect the image. But as I want to say once more, this is a pre-trained model which is called MobileNet, and this is a pre-trained model inside the ML5 library. In the future, we're gonna train our own model, and we use that model to predict our images. So I hope you guys learned something from this tutorial. If you have any question, ask me on the comment below. And if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and maybe share it with your friends. Have a great time. Thank you for the watching.